Brothers, Moist Critical is the Burger King equivalent of political commentators. He is somebody that is going to deliver you pre-processed garbage, just pure slop, no thought put into any of it, the most hyperbolic left-wing Trump deranged garbage that you've ever seen. You are not prepared for some of the sort of shit that we're about to see in this video. And keep in mind, this was put 3 hours ago. I just got done reading an article, and I'm going to be making an independent video. Trump is on a plane to Tel Aviv to greet the hostages that are now being released solely because of him and his deal with Israel and Hamas, the peace deal that is now currently in effect. Those hostages are going to see the light of day after 2 years in hell because of Donald Trump. And Moist Critical is sitting around bitching about Trump because CoffeeZilla put out a video because CoffeeZilla no like Trump. This is one of the most pathetic, unhinged, deranged, low information and low IQ videos that I've seen in a while. And I want to share it with you. We're not going to watch the whole thing because it's nearly 20 minutes of incoherent babbling, of rambling about Trump. You know, and by the way, Charlie was the one that called Netanyahu a genocidal freak and said, if you want to send your money anywhere, send it to the people in Gaza. Not a word from this fucking greasy creep about the fact that Trump made this peace deal. The people in Palestine are celebrating. The people in Israel are celebrating. But the one that's not celebrating is Moist Critical. He seems more angry at Trump than ever. This is unhinged, pure, unadulterated Trump derangement syndrome. So let's get into it. Let's see what has ruffled Moist Critical's jimmies as it relates to Trump after, mind you, this historic peace deal, which is going to save lives.
Books and cartoons. But now I know it's a very real thing that you can see happening daily in this country. Now, the big thing I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about a lot here. There's going to be a bunch of blabber in here and drool coming out of my mouth as I'm spitting because I'm about to be getting pretty passionate.
The drool's coming out of his mouth because his takes are so fucking stupid. This is probably one of his most unhinged and pathetic videos. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a supporter of Trump. I'm saying that because this is demented. Trump is on the heels of one of the most historic peace deals that we've seen, at least in my lifetime. It's incredible. You know, last time you saw something like this, it was like Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Now you've got Donald Trump flying today. Actually, as Moist Critical is uploading this shitty fucking video, Trump is flying to Tel Aviv to greet the hostages that are being released solely because of him. And this fucking freak is sitting there bitching for 20 minutes about nonsense that he doesn't understand, that he is ignorant of. Didn't I just hear from Asmongold that Charlie doesn't talk about politics? Wasn't that the rationale behind his video about Hassan? You know, Hassan was saying, oh, it took Charlie 2 years to talk about the genocide in Gaza, and Asmongold was like, oh, Charlie doesn't talk about politics. He fucking does. He is a Trump deranged loser. And by the way, when I first saw this video, he starts talking about crypto coin and crypto bros, and I'm thinking, okay, he's going to shit on crypto guys, fine. But it immediately morphs into a Trump deranged rant. And I think that's just so fucking pathetic. We're on the precipice of a historic event. Trump is headed to Tel Aviv to greet hostages that have been in fucking hell for 2 years. And now you decide to put out this video? Tell me, Charlie, did you get a call from Hassan after your video criticizing him for shocking and abusing his dog? Did you get a call? He said he was going to DM you. Did he DM you? Did he push you into making a Trump deranged video to prove that you're still one of the good ones? Hey, Charlie, you better put out this video against Trump, otherwise I'm going to have my audience come after you. We want to know, because this is an out-of-place video, or otherwise it would have been if I didn't know that Moist Critical is a one-dimensional thinker and doesn't really have any ideas of his own. So immediately when he started talking about Trump and the economy, I go, oh, CoffeeZilla put out a video. And I was fucking right. I was right. I went over and I saw that CoffeeZilla put out a video that was scathing about Trump. Okay, now it makes sense. Most Critical watched one video from CoffeeZilla, and now he's an economic super sleuth. He is a guru about economics. Oh, hey guys, Most Critical here. In the middle of my SpongeBob memes and ejaculation references, I'm going to talk to you about tariffs and tell you about the effect that it has on the economy and really how Donald Trump is one of the worst presidents in the world. Let me tell you about the effects of the 100% tariffs that he put on China and how that's going to have an effect on distribution. Like, no. Either you're the SpongeBob ejaculation guy with the giant fucking dildos, or you're a political guy that enters into that realm and arena. You don't get to be both. You don't get to put up these anti-Trump deranged fucking retard statements and then hide behind, guys, I'm just a dumb, greasy homunculus. You can't talk bad about me. I'm just a poor, innocent numbskull. I'm just dumb. You have to pick one.
The big focus is on the huge crypto collapse from yesterday. And the very suspicious, very lucky trader who was able to cash out $190 million off of it because they were shorting Bitcoin and Ethereum a day before and all the way up until a minute before Trump's Truth Social post announcing the massive tariffs on China, which crashed the entire market. And then 30 minutes later, they cash out $190 million. It seems like they might have known something, but that can't be, right? That would be corruption.
Oh, corruption. Yeah, so what Trump was doing, in the midst of him signing this historic peace deal and working on all these different things, he was actually calling up all his friends. All right, guys. All right, listen. I'm coming out with this Truth Social post, so you better short this particular stock. You better short this particular stock. Really? That is your conclusion? God, CoffeeZilla has fried your fucking brain, brother. That is embarrassing. That's your conclusion? That Trump was in cahoots? Oh, guys, it's Trump. It's corruption from the Trump administration. That must be it. Now, ignore the fact that Democrats have done this for the last 40 years. In fact, there's something called the Nancy Pelosi bill. It's called the Pelosi bill. Because Nancy Pelosi would do this for the last 40 years. But suddenly Moist Critical cares about this? He didn't care when Biden did it. He didn't care when any of the Democrats did it. He didn't care when Chuck Schumer did it. He didn't care when Pelosi did it. AOC. How is AOC worth as much money as she is? Moist Critical doesn't care. Moist Critical doesn't give a shit if she insider trades. He doesn't give a shit about how she earns millions of dollars on what's the salary of somebody working in the government in her position? Not millions. So you want to have your cake and eat it too. You want to pretend, okay guys, I'm this retard. I'm this grimy, slimy, gamer guy that doesn't talk about politics. But then you're going to dip your toe into politics and you're going to go off on Donald Trump. No. You are a political entity, Charlie. You are. And the fact is, let me remind people of something. Moist Critical lost a debate with Sneeko where Sneeko was taking up the position that the age of consent should be abolished. And I didn't even think that was a debate that could be lost. But you see, Charlie lost that debate because he came up with a position that was actually slightly worse than Sneeko's, which is that 9-year-olds should be able to transition both physically and in terms of the chemical castration. He affirmed that twice, by the way. And only after feedback, a couple days later, did he come out and say, hey guys, Moist Critical here. Man, you'd have to be an idiot homunculus to think I was serious about the thing that I actually said and, affirmed and said that I wouldn't mind living in that world. Just keep in mind that this is a guy that has a history of making absolutely indefensible, retarded statements if it's in the direction of a left-wing narrative. And this is no different. This is him shitting the bed, being embarrassing, because he watched a video from CoffeeZilla. I'm just saying, it's terrible. And this is more anti-Trump deranged bullshit on the eve of him signing a historic peace deal. Charlie, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You really should.
And this administration doesn't engage in that kind of nefarious activity. Except for all the previous times that this exact same thing has happened with Trump announcing things on Truth Social that people close to him that suckle his fucking teats must have had insider knowledge on, because they're able to cash out millions upon millions of dollars because of his rinse and repeat cycle of threatening tariffs, backing off tariffs, postponing tariffs, just fluctuating the market up and down, yet people in his inner circle must be privy to this knowledge.
So let me just put this in perspective. This fucking retard, this low IQ leftist piece of shit, is saying that the only reason that Trump is applying tariffs, or one of the primary reasons he's applying tariffs, is to fluctuate the market so that he could tell his friends, so that his friends could get rich. No, it isn't the fact that these countries have been taking advantage of us and he's trying to put America in a better economic position, and he's doing it by imposing tariffs, which have been amazingly fucking effective, you disgusting freak. They've been amazingly effective in getting people to do what he wants, and then he can lower the tariff. He can go, okay, we're doing a 10% tariff. Okay, we're rising at 100%, and then they capitulate and do what he wants, and then he lowers it back down, maybe to 20%. You're like, whew, well, it's not 110, and it's still a win. Charlie is so fucking stupid, and the audacity to do this, right as Trump is announcing and flying to Tel Aviv to greet these hostages. It is so absolutely indefensible and egregious.
Because they are making absolute bullseye trades based on that before it becomes public. So this isn't really anything new, it's just the most egregious instance, because you can literally see it. This account opens and starts shorting Bitcoin and Ethereum a day before this announcement, and then a minute before the Truth Social post goes live. Like, it's unbelievable. And if you're a MAGA cultist, it actually is unbelievable. They refuse to believe it.
A MAGA cultist? Wow, guys, a MAGA cultist. Now, anyone who has a fucking brain, let me ask you, which side do you find tends to act more like a cult? Is it the Republicans, is it Trump, that argue about differences of opinion openly and vociferously, that are unapologetic about their differences of opinion? Or is it the left that demands hegemony, that defends pedophiles, terrorists, criminals? How bad was that talking down and dressing down from Hassan? This is a shockingly pathetic video. MAGA cultist? Really? Oh, brother. MAGA cultists. Charlie, when was the last time you did a video in the last 100 days about the terrorism from Antifa, the far left, on the Portland facility, the Portland ICE facility? When was the last time you talked about that? Did you talk about, Charlie, did you talk about the laser attack that was being planned by Antifa, where they were going to use high-power lasers to try to take down a helicopter? And that in Portland, they actually had to ground helicopters because they were afraid that it was a credible threat? Did you do a video about that? No, of course you didn't. Who's in a cult? It's fucking you. You and Hassan and the other degenerate, low IQ, bottom-feeding, subhuman garbage on the left, especially in the streamer space. I'm so glad we have Asmongold. I don't agree with Asmongold on everything, but Asmongold is like a breath of fresh air in a sea of these fucking left-wing creeps. And I don't even understand it. Moist Critikal is from Florida. You'd think that he would be far more based and understand how outrageous and ridiculous what he's saying is.
The very real reality that they are getting fucking hosed. Trump and Trump's family's net worth has exploded since...
Yeah, exploded. It has gone down drastically. Do you realize, Charlie, that Trump was nearly assassinated twice? Do you realize that Trump and his family have gone through unprecedented lawfare over the last couple of years? That every aspect of their life and their business practices have been under a microscope, and when the Democrats couldn't find anything, they fucking made it up. And by the way, Letitia James is now under federal investigation for the very thing that they were trying to charge Trump for. But the difference is she actually did it. Do you remember when Judge Engoron... No, of course you don't, because you don't know the details about any of this stuff, Charlie. Do you remember when Judge Engoron and Letitia James tried to collude together to manufacture this narrative that Mar-a-Lago, Trump's Mar-a-Lago, Florida property was worth $18 million? Do you remember that? They actually charged Trump 500 some million dollars. One of the biggest settlements. I mean, is it unconstitutional? Of course it is. It was absolutely absurd. But they did it anyway. And you want to talk about corruption? We've got foreign invaders in our country. We've got a left wing that are terrorists that cheered the death of Charlie Kirk. And you want to sit here and whinge and bitch about this fucking nothing that you don't even understand. You're clueless. And what became abundantly clear is when Charlie was talking about this jet from Qatar, this is when it really became abundantly clear that this guy has no fucking idea what he's talking about.
It is fucking horrifying. Trump is now building a Qatari Air Force base in Idaho. Trump has accepted a huge $400 million Wumbo Turbo Superstar jet from Qatar.
I just want to take a moment. The jet was being gifted to the Air Force. This is not a personal gift to Trump. Trump does not get the jet after his presidency. I think what they said is after the Trump administration, they're going to decommission it. And it's going to serve as part of like a museum or something. But they could still use it. It's a $400 million jet. By the way, the jet was made here. So the Qataris bought a bunch of jets and said, we're going to give one to the Americans. And most criticals said, I can't believe that Trump, he starts foaming at the mouth and like having a stroke. These people are insane. Donald Trump gets a major win for the American people in the United States, and these people just can't handle it. Trump's brand has taken a fucking pounding. Half of the country needs like therapy every time you mention Trump's name. There have been people that have tried to kill Trump. No, he has not made hundreds of millions or hundreds of billions of dollars as a result of being president. They nearly killed him twice. They tried to put him in jail for like 150 years, Charlie. What the fuck? And by the way, I'm not going to watch the rest of this video. I made it 6 minutes in with with this particular story. Donald Trump is on his way to Israel to free these hostages. These hostages are going to be freed and Donald Trump is going to greet them. They are only being freed as a result of Donald Trump. These people have been through hell for the last 2 years, and now they are free. And this fucking freak, this useless streamer, this content creator, is sitting here raging at Trump because he saw a single video of CoffeeZilla, and he thinks, okay, well, now I'm an expert on the topic. I'm just going to vent my spleen. It's fucking pathetic. Charlie, you're ignorant. You're out of your depth. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the details of any of these things. You're shooting from the hip, and you think that it's okay because, well, people don't like Trump, so that's okay. How about you do a fucking video on the peace deal? On this peace deal. You claim that this was a big deal, but no, it was never a big deal for you. It was never a big deal for Hassan. It was never a big deal for any of these virtue signalers. They only used it as a way to make themselves look good. Because when Trump is the one that signs the peace deal, well, then we don't give a shit. We're not going to talk about it anymore. Well, you know what, Charlie? Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. MAGA cultist. Charlie, you are in a cult. And the fact is, you're a fucking coward. You're a weak, pathetic coward. You don't have the testicular fortitude to stand by any of what you're saying. What you do when you get called out is you start throwing a temper tantrum. You start calling people names. You are unable to take criticism. You aren't. You lash out, which is exactly what you did when you were called out because you made an indefensible statement about affirming that a 9-year-old should be able to consent and transition. Anyway, brothers, I want to thank those of you who watch my channel, who subscribe, who are part of the Brotherhood. We need to do away with this sort of sentiment from these weak, mentally inferior losers. There's no reason that we have to tolerate this sort of behavior. Where on the eve of these people being freed, these content creators, these fucking freaks that have never done anything for anyone, are now sitting here trying to rage against Trump as Trump is on this plane ride to Israel to free these hostages, which virtue signalers like Charlie and all these other streamers claim they cared about, but not when Trump gets a win from it. Fuck these people. I've had enough of them. Thanks for watching. See you next time.